Writing a personal narrative can be one of the most significant things you can do to help you in a federal criminal case. So what is a personal narrative? A narrative is your story. It's something that you write, and I encourage my clients to start working on this really right at the beginning of the case. So when I first start working with somebody, I'm going to tell them, you need to start writing your narrative. You need to start working on it. And I want your life story, okay? So I don't need every single detail, but I need all of the important facts. So where were you born? What was it like where you were growing up? Are you from another country? Did you come to the United States and have to learn English? Did you have what you needed? Did you have food when you were growing up? And if you did, was there abuse? Was there alcohol? Were there drugs? What kind of environment was it that you grew up in? And then what challenges did you face as an adult? Do you have any kind of an addiction or substance use disorders? Do you have any emotional issues that you're struggling with? If you have maybe some sort of a mental health diagnosis, then we get you a psychological evaluation, and we include that in your sentencing memo. But the personal narrative is so important because it helps me understand my client, first of all. And I will help you edit this letter. But a personal narrative is also where you acknowledge responsibility for your conduct and you let the judge know how remorseful you are and that you understand the impact that your conduct has had on others. Not your family, not the court, but if there are victims in your case, then you want the court to know that you understand that your actions have hurt someone or a group of people and that you are truly remorseful. And what are you going to do? What steps are you going to take, past, present, and future, to ameliorate that harm? So again, in your narrative, you want to tell me your entire life story, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You also want to really express your remorse. This is not a time to be asking for leniency. This is not a time to be whining and saying, oh. This is the time for you to just put it all out on the table. I will take your narrative and I will go through it with you. I will edit it. I will explain to you which things I think are more important for you to focus on, which things maybe we can get rid of. And then the magic of this letter is that I provide it to the probation officer who is going to write your pre-sentence report, or PSR, before the interview. So when we walk in for your probation interview, this probation officer is going to have read your letter and they are going to see you as a human being rather than an indictment and police reports that they've read about your case that have been provided by the U.S. Attorney's Office. So you're going to come in with a huge advantage. The other huge advantage is that if I email this letter to the probation officer, which I do, prior to your probation interview, they are going to have the opportunity to cut and paste from the letter so your probation report is written in your words. And it is your story, not just some bullet point, paragraph after paragraph. She grew up in this city and she went to this school and she has this degree and et cetera, et cetera. This is going to be a real heartfelt story by somebody who understands who you are as a person. Another side benefit is that the probation interview would be a lot shorter because they don't have to ask you a million questions and they don't have to pull it out of you. The information is already going to be there, and then they can just ask follow-up questions and they can drill down on a couple of issues that they think are significant. And who knows, they may even focus on something that I may not have thought was such a big deal and that they think, you know what, this is really an impressive characteristic, or this is work that you've done which I think is amazing, and they're going to really present that to the judge. Then the judge reads your letter. I attach your letter to the sentencing memo so the judge hears in your words how remorseful you are and all about you as a person. And then I incorporate bits and pieces of that into your sentencing memorandum, but I'm constantly referring back to your letter. And as the defendant said or so-and-so said in their letter, blah, 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 whatever it is the point that I am trying to make. But so this has so many layers of significance. Additionally, if you have to serve a prison sentence, this portion of the probation report is going to go to the Bureau of Prisons. So whoever is designating you is going to know your story and may treat you more kindly. And finally, when you are on supervision, or if you are on supervision after your release, then your probation officer is going to know your story, and they're going to be a lot nicer to you because they're going to know who you are and they're going to be sympathetic. You're not just going to be another file on their desk. So the personal narrative is so important for so many reasons. So I can understand you, the probation officer can understand you and put your PSR in your words, the judge can read it and hear who you are, the Bureau of Prisons, and ultimately your supervising probation officer. So the personal narrative, I can't stress upon you enough how important it is to start working on it as soon as possible. And I really look forward to working with you if you are charged with a federal criminal case. Please contact me, Diane Bass, Orange County, California. My contact information is below. And if this was helpful or useful to you, please subscribe to my channel.